battle brothers, and welcome to another video, and today, oh yes, we are reviewing yet another installment in the Horus Heresy series, and we are reviewing the Underworld War by Aaron Dembski-Bowden, a part of the Mark of Calth anthology once again. Yes, well, this volume contains a lot of short stories and novellas. It's like the fifth that I'm reviewing already. I have lost count, to be honest, but my excitement hasn't been diminished yet, and there I thought, at the beginning when I started reading this, that I couldn't possibly enjoy anything about the Word-Bearers. Well, of course, if you put them against the Ultramarines, and make the Ultramarines kick some Word-Bearers' asses, who wouldn't enjoy that? Well, of course. Once again, we are dealing with the event of Calth. Oh yes, one of the greatest atrocities, which is comparable as far as the scale, really, of the event to Istvan 3 and Istvan 5, as far as the Horus Heresy goes, where the Word-Bearers attacked Calth and other worlds of, well, basically Ultramar, belonging to the Ultramarines, and seemingly catching the Ultramarines unawares and by surprise. But of course, the Ultramarines are not to be underestimated, which of course can be said about basically any other Legion Astartes, but you know what I mean. But all these short stories and novellas are dealing with one supporting character or another, either during the conflict at Calth, or before it, or even after it, or before and after, or a theoretical set of events set during that conflict. Well, of course, this review will contain spoilers, because once again, I have to repeat myself, and I do repeat myself in each and every single of these reviews. I don't think you are watching this video without knowing anything about the Horus Heresy, without having read all the previous volumes, or at least the initial 6 volumes, plus the Battle for the Abyss, No Fear, and the First Heretic, which of course is a compulsory read in order for you to fully enjoy and actually understand this particular book. So we are dealing with Kaurtal in this short story, a member of well, a Word-Bearers legionary who has been fighting in that war, in that conflict, for 7 years. And seemingly, he and his squad, they have been abandoned by their legion, and they have been fighting underground for 7 years. And Kartal has had enough of it, and he has decided that he would go to the surface of Calth, which of course is lethal for any human. The sun of Calth being messed up by the Word-Bearers so much that you can't survive on the surface of Calth. Cannot. Without being immediately riddled and eradicated by the radiation that is there, and that radiates from the sun. And so he goes, and he is a member of the Galvorbak, I think. The group of Word-Bearers who have deliberately let themselves be possessed by demons from the warp. And the short story, it doesn't only deal with the events themselves, but also how he came around to be a part of it. And his inner dialogue, not an inner monologue, but his inner dialogue. This is fascinating, right? That in Horus Heresy, you can read inner dialogues with himself, or between himself and the demon. And now the extreme, utter, and extraordinarily spoilerish part comes. So if you haven't read this short story yet, do not continue watching this review. Go read the short story and come back. Are you done? Are you quite done? Have you read the short story? Have you come back? All right, then we can continue. It didn't happen. So it really goes back to Argel-Tar. I'm always complaining about the names. But that's, of course, when you read like 25 volumes of Horus Heresy almost consecutively, being like kind of switched and swapped around here and there with Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer Fantasy, and all the fantasy books and books of classic literature, of course. The names tend to mingle a little bit in your mind, but it all goes back. The story sudden shift back, and to Kartal meeting Ajaltar and them talking about the fact that so do you want to be a part of this possession thing? I'm sorry, I'm recording these reviews in the evening when I came back from work and when I've been jogging and working out and doing chores, enjoying other things. Is just like really the last productive thing I do in a day, and I'm just I am squished like a sponge, being rid of all its moisture. Jesus Christ, even my metaphors are shit. So, in order for you to be possessed by a demon from the warp, you being a word bearer, you can do two things. You can starve yourself almost to death. You can pray for a week or something, and then reach some state of black, horror-like, chaos-ridden nirvana, and the demon will enter you. It sounds weird. Or you can be a part of a ritual and get killed. Ritualistically killed with a sword. Taken from actually a custodian by Ajaltar. Or he has a sword of a custodian. And make a pact with the demon and see if that works. If the demon wants you or not. It kind of proves that the demon didn't want Kartal. He has shown him 7 years in advance. So Kartal, he has lived through 7 years of the conflict, only to realize there was all a vision given to him by the demon, and then he dies. Hey, listen, and all of this you get to know at the end of the short story. That's a revelation. I love when somebody does that. I absolutely love when somebody is able to surprise, because it doesn't always happen. When you have read your share of, let's just use the umbrella term literature, not only fantasy and science fiction, but it is a commonly used practice to do that. It's very often it's predictable. Very often you can tell there's something off, and I think this is going to happen. But in this case, in this short story, it wasn't predictable at all. I didn't know it until the very end, and I was quite pleasantly surprised, because I'm always happy when somebody is able to surprise me. And I have realized, I have found out, in this short story collection, each and every single one of them is very much different from the rest, written in a very different style. Even genres differ. It's all very much, part of the kind of pre-grimdark, because I mean, Warhammer 40,000 is like the real grimdark, but it's the result of the thousands and thousands of years of stagnation and war. Horus Heresy is kind of like the start of something hopeful, the start of, like the reclaiming of the galaxy, with a vision of the bright future, which then ends up being something completely different. So it's kind of in the middle. But the subgenres, they change from one short story to another, which is very refreshing. And it doesn't often happen in anthologies. Anthologies tend to, quite obviously connect the short stories, all the parts of it, in one way or another, very often as far as the genre goes. But here, the genres and the writing styles change all the time. And so you really don't get bored. Because it very often happens, you read an anthology, it contains like 5 to 10 stories, and you read like 5th or 7th story, and you're like, let us get it over with. I just want to read something new, something else now. Doesn't happen with this. Absolutely excited and 100% recommend. Once again, let me know in the comments down below what you think, and there we go. I'm going to go and have some rest finally. And remember, the Emperor protects.